What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk of the Tundra, your Green Bay Packers podcast as a proud partner of the Gyro Step Podcast Network and the Blue Wire family. As always, I am your host, Numac, coming to you with another preview of the Bears versus the Packers. This time, the Packers heading south to Chicago to go bear hunting. NFC North is up for grabs. Be a big time to win this game and take a stranglehold on the NFC North, and really not lock up a trip to the playoffs. They can clinch this weekend through a variety of different ways, but they can't just clinch by winning. Essentially, they have to have help along the way. And to talk about all those scenarios and much more is my lovely co-host Jordan Chesky. Jordan, how are you doing, buddy?
Are you saying that they need to get by with a little help from their
They
friends?
do need to get by with a little help from their friends.
Who are their friends this week?
Um,
I included it in our
I know I'm
doc, our
trying to
shared doc, and I
find it.
did not look at it.
Here it is. This is from Rob Domboski. The playoff. God, there's a lot of scenarios in which the Packers um, can clinch, but if they win, a Detroit loss is their biggest. Is like the one. I think it depends on with the game tonight too. The Rams
Naturally, yeah.
Seahawks game. I think I saw Zach Cruz put out a link today that there's like 8 scenarios in which the Packers can clinch depending on how the game tonight goes. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, but if the Packers win on Saturday, if they if Detroit loses if Detroit loses or ties, they'll clinch. Or if Green Bay ties and Detroit loses, they will clinch as well. But I like
Mm.
to just clinch with a win and a Detroit loss. That'd be the primary outcome of that one. Who does Detroit play?
Uh,
Do you know off the top of your head? They play Pittsburgh. So
Oh yeah, because I remember Schneidman mentioned that Aaron Rodgers could help the Packers clinch a playoff spot if he
that'd
beats
be
the Lions.
pretty
Is that a
cool.
primetime game?
I just closed ESPN.
Nooner.
Uh, uh, it is a 325 game.
Hmm.
Hmm.
In Pittsburgh or Detroit?
Detroit.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Peculiar even. Um, cheeses to hand out for the Bears or for the Broncos game with that abysmal loss. Um, do you have strong feelings off the top of your head? Like, do you have
No.
strong feelings either way?
Actually, I will say I have one strong feeling. It's why the listener doesn't know this, but it is
Yeah.
why I just like looked at it and just put very incomplete names.
Yeah.
I think the only one I feel strongly about is Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I'm down to just keep it with Josh Jacobs. Nobody
Okay, then let's do
nobody else on
that.
defense really impressed me. I guess Xavier McKinney, he had 3 pass deflections.
You know
It
what?
depends on how
That
much you want to
is
like penalize him for
no.
not intercepting the ball.
I can't
Yeah.
penalize him for that.
You want
He
to
did
do
a lot.
X and Jacobs?
X and Jacobs.
Perfect. Easy. Super simple stuff, folks. We're flying through on cheese boards. We put that abysmal game behind us, except not really because there's injuries to talk about.
Yeah, we can't fully do it
Not quite.
just yet, but
Um, couple injury updates. Safety Evan Williams injured his MCL on the same play that Micah Parsons did this past Sunday. He joked during his press conference. I don't know if you saw this, Jordan, that he only got one trainer.
I
It was very. It's like it's not funny, but it's funny enough. Like you try and make light of a heavy situation kind of thing.
it's a
Um,
mood lightener, that's for sure.
it is a mood lightener. He said he's unsure about playing on Saturday, but will give himself a chance. I imagine he probably doesn't go. You don't really want to play on a strained MCL and 6 days rest. Um, so that's gonna be
And on that terrible
that.
Chicago field.
Yeah. Um,
Bear down, let's go,
we
Indiana.
okay.
Funny.
Okay. You started the conversation. I was gonna wait a second, listener. The day the Bears announced their move to Gary, Indiana, will be the last day you ever hear from me, because I will have died from laughing. I will have not been able to catch my breath. I will suffocate at from laughter if the Chicago Bears move to Northwest Indiana and their nearest city is Gary, Indiana. I will cease to exist. I will have lived a happy life and been happy during my death. Cuz what a joke of a franchise.
Yeah. Um, I I get it with like it's Bears rivalry week, and there are stakes there. Like we just did
There
this
are
2 weeks
real
ago.
stakes.
There are real stakes in this season. There are real stakes in the rivalry. Blah 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 blah. It is to me like objectively. I don't like this is has nothing to do with fandom or the fact that they're the closest franchises. Therefore, you want to beat them. To like see that, and they've been doing this for the last like 3 years specifically. Like Kevin Warren has come into that organization, and I've listened to a lot of interesting podcasts about like how the organization has changed. Obviously, this is one of like the original families of the NFL. It's still within the Hallis lineage and all that fun stuff that comes with that. But it is just like, dude, stop. Just stop it. Like we know the fact that in the press release, the phrase "this is just not a matter of leverage" is used. It is just so nakedly blind, or not blind, but so plain to see. And it's just like you're not gonna get what you want from Illinois. Indiana ain't gonna do the same thing unless we got
Indiana
your
like
main.
fast tracked like a couple of like procedural bills to try and make it work. And it
Are you
all
serious?
I saw a tweet about it, so it could have been fake, but I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
I mean, I guess it's also the same city that got those Mayflower trucks from Baltimore and moved the Colts overnight, um, which is not hyperbole for anybody that doesn't remember that or wasn't even born. It is just like it's Chicago, it's the Bears, it's one of the like as much as it is like we know how terrible they have been. We know the Bears fans could easily say that as much as anybody else, but it is just like the fact that it's coming this like aggressively and it's at a time when they feel like they have leverage. They're not even in the freaking playoffs. Like they're finally successful enough that they can be like, ah, yes, we finally have some goodwill and capital to do this. And it's like, I don't know. It is so, I think it really is interesting as someone that is very interested in this business of sports. And I know we're primarily a Packers football podcast, but I do really wonder and am interested to see how this unfolds because it's like I don't know. Like we know the game of this. We know how this game is going to be played. And it's in a city in a state that is not going to entertain that at all
Right.
by any means. Like I don't know.
I think it's going to go on a lot longer than the franchise wants it to. I don't think they can survive a PR hit to move to Indiana. Like they'll
No.
survive it. They're an NFL franchise and everything, but I think it wouldn't be good for business.
You don't think the NFL
I
wouldn't
don't.
think it's
Yeah,
good for business to have the third biggest city in the country
not have an
to
NFL team.
not
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's not like I joke about Gary, but like that's the city in Northwest Indiana. There's small cities, but like Gary is like that area. There's like Valparaiso's over there and stuff. Like Valparaiso's even further down the road from um. So let's do Gary, Indiana. Oh, dude, the picture for Gary, Indiana is the saddest thing I've ever fucking seen. It immediately explicit, but like the
Homo Glenn Robinson for any Bucks listeners out there.
the picture for Gary, Indiana on Google Maps is a boarded up, dilapidated house. Not great. Soldier
I would
Field.
also say that Google is played into the image of what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, right now at 8:43 on December 18th, 2025, it is a half-hour drive from Soldier Field to Gary, Indiana.
Hmm.
So like, it's not far, far, but like, it's gonna be further when it's not 8:43 at night.
Yeah.
A little longer with traffic and such, and that's to like city center Gary, obviously. But I don't know, man. It would be.
It's just so it just reeks. I mean, I
And people
believe the
talk about
least.
like the Meadowlands being in New Jersey. Like I think that's a little different for the sole purpose that like Long Island and New Jersey and all that is so dense anyways.
Yeah, and really, I mean, the Jets. I don't think they played at Shea Stadium when way back when,
Right.
but yeah, that is also a very interesting dynamic to look into. Someone should write a book about stuff like
Somebody should write a book about that
that.
stuff. Also, like the Jets and Giants played the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. It's like across the street from Manhattan. Like it's not like it's
Yeah,
in Jersey.
yeah.
Like you go across the Hudson River, and that's pretty much where the Meadowlands is.
Peter Parker is slinging webs.
He's
What?
doing what?
He's slinging
I
webs.
know, but I've got my mind's in the gutter. But it's just
Terrible. Anyway, the
terrible.
move just reeks of desperation. I believe the lease is like up until like 2030.
I think it is.
So this whole power play, I mean, if you want to call it that, like it's only going to get worse and it's going to get louder if the Bears are successful
Yeah.
and put more pressure on Illinois state officials and
Mm-hmm.
city of Chicago to do stuff that they have shown no willingness to do. I mean, look at the aren't the White Sox trying to do the same thing? So you're gonna have like two sports franchises like haggle these cities
Yeah.
that you know.
I mean, if they really wanted to be efficient, they'd build one big stadium. They would just build one big stadium on the lakefront and house the White Sox and the Bears there. You could put the Cubs there too. Get it out of Wrigley, but that won't happen. Listeners know my
Have you
opinion.
ever? Have you ever? I know you. Yeah. Have you ever driven by the Bears stadium?
I've been to Soldier Field.
You've been to Soldier Field?
Yeah, I hate it. It's
For
awful.
it was a. I obviously have not been at a sporting event
I
there.
haven't been to a sporting, but I saw Metallica there a couple years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Pre pandemic, I think. Yeah, 2019, 2018 ish time.
Hmm. So that was during Trubisky time,
Yeah.
and they were singing like "Off to Never Never Land." Sorry. No, it is just crazy. It's like, oh, it's right there. Oh, it's not built for parking for
No,
people to attend
no,
that
it's not built.
stadium.
It's like it's really not built well at all. Like you park very far away. We parked right by the bean because like we walked around down like the
Yeah.
lakefront and whatnot. But like plenty of people walked like a ways to get to Soldier Field. Like it's you walk through the park
It's on
next
an
to it.
island.
Yeah, like it's a ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the right answer. The state of Chicago is probably the right answer for the NFL. I don't think they would allow a move to Gary or to Indiana because the Colts already exist there, and like it just would make
Yeah, that's
things
the well
weird.
the other I mean
And
the
also, like, if you're going to be a destination for all of the big things they want to bring, like if you want to be a destination for the draft, if you want to be a destination for uh like the Final Four and all of these like indoor activities that they want to build a
a
dome
Super
for,
Bowl.
a Super Bowl, same thing. They want to be in downtown Chicago. Like you want to
Yeah.
be near the city center. That's why the Meadowlands works for like them, even though it's not a dome.
They regretted it after they had it there because it led to the biggest blowout in like Super Bowl history and it was super cold, but like they
Right.
still did it.
Right, because it was across the river from New York.
Yeah. No, that is a perfect point of just like it's Chicago. Like, and you brought up the point of like these are the things that we don't aren't privy to like knowing how it is, but like that cuts into Colts territory. Territorial rights are a thing
Right.
in the NFL. Milwaukee and Green Bay is a part of that territory.
Hmm.
Like you can read all about that stuff,
The
even if
the
it's
Kenosha
hard to
Bears.
find. Kenosha Bears. I mean, Red Foreman and Eric Foreman,
The Gurney Bears.
the Gurney Bears, the Six Flags
Yeah,
Bears.
they just tear down Six Flags and put the Bears complex there.
There you go. But yeah, it is just like this is what we mean when the Bears just get in their own way. Like,
They cannot make the like they had there is a real chance they just don't make the playoffs. If they lose their last 3 games, they have a 16% chance to make the playoffs, and if the Lions win, like the Lions face the Bears in week 18. So if the
yeah,
Lions either win against the Steelers this week or beat the Vikings next week, and the Bears lose out, which they play the Packers, like the Packers, the Niners, and the Lions. The
it's
Niners
not
are fighting
inconceivable.
for a spot.
Yeah,
Like they could feasibly lose out and not make the playoffs.
I just who knows if it will. I really doubt it that it'll affect the on-field product. I think that those are two separate things, but it's just like
I don't think it won't. I think like players probably hear it. They probably don't care about it so much, but like it probably affects management and coaches. They probably don't like having to hear about all this stuff.
yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know if
I don't know if Ben Johnson cares, but
Ben Johnson, he's
too busy trying to find a
he
shirt.
yeah.
I stole your flow. I knew exactly where you were going.
Did I leave it in the dressing room? Is it in there?
All right,
Yeah,
let's
let's
get back to
continue.
football. Um, John Williams
They
returned to.
call it the Windy City because that team is a blow it away. Sorry, John Williams.
Did you know it's not named because of that? Because of the weather?
Wait, what is it named after?
Please tell me you don't. You actually know this. Do you not actually know
Because
this?
they're farting.
No,
Is that was it a
no.
break
Okay,
wind situation?
I'm not going to eat the bait that this is.
I don't know. I don't
You
know this
don't know
joke or
this?
thing. No,
It's not called the Windy City because of the weather. It's
is it
called
named after Brian Windhorst?
no. It's called the Windy City because uh, people and politicians would blow from one side of the aisle to the other. Like a gust of wind could blow a
Yes,
politician to one side of a topic.
Richard Daley,
Sure,
Mayor Daley.
sure. Don't know who that is.
It's a mayor, a
Clearly,
famous mayor.
not famous enough.
Mm.
The only mayor of Chicago I know is Lori Lightfoot.
They're like,
Um, regardless, that joke, that fact is like a meme at some as uh at this point now. But anyways, now actually back to football. Um, John Williams, offensive lineman, his practice window opened up um, to come back from IR. Who really knows if he'll play? He gets 3 weeks of practice, obviously, before uh, he can come back, or before that he has to come back, or they, I think, cut him. I think is the other option. Um, but he is has a back injury, so he's been fighting that all season long. I think he was put on IR like in training camp. So, um, in news that is honestly surprising to nobody, the Packers are dealing with another Marshawn Lloyd injury. He was added to the roster to be put back on IR. This time it is a hamstring injury. Just an awful break for Marshawn. Like what do you do? Like it's getting to the point where it's like I could honestly like just question, does he want to keep fighting through injuries? Like I'm sure he does because like he hasn't gotten a chance get get on the field yet, like in a real game for like with real purpose. And you feel for the guy, but he's a lost cause for the Packers at this point. Like I think they for sure are using a draft pick on a running back this year. Maybe not because like their draft isn't that good. Maybe they wait till next year. because they have Jacobs on contract through next year. Maybe they just try and run back this same exact running back room next year. But I don't know, man. It's tough.
It's really tough. It's terrible. It's how many snaps have we seen of him? It's less
Not
than
a
100.
lot. It's less than 10.
I think last year it was like 11, and then he has not played at all this year.
Yeah,
Correct? Because he got hurt in
he got hurt in
preseason.
preseason.
So yeah, it 7 touches total
Yeah, it's not a lot.
all last year. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know. It is exactly what it is,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that we had to openly wonder if the Packers are. I don't think they would necessarily cut bait with him, but it is just like they'll probably plan for the future and reset the clock with their running back depth, and it makes sense why they would.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, just terrible.
Yeah, not good, not fun, not great for the Packers running back room. Is like in general, like they've made do without, obviously, but like you said, looking forward, it puts a lot of things into question with Emmanuel Wilson, I believe, being a free agent after this year. I'm not sure of Chris Brooks' situation, but then I think Josh Jacobs has one more year left on that contract after this year. I'm actually curious. I think Jacobs' cap hit spikes this year. Um, Let me check quick because even though this is a very off-season topic, I'm pretty certain it.
Because he had the 12, the 4 for 48, 12 guarantee in the
Yeah.
first year, which obviously was
Oh
last
no,
year.
he has 2 more years after this. My apologies. Um, he has his cap hit does spike though this year, or his not the cap doesn't spike, but it goes up a couple million. His cap hit this year is 11 million. Next year it's 14. The year after that it's 16. But he,
That's not bad.
God, how old do you think Josh Jacobs is?
I'm gonna say 27.
He is. This is his 27 age year. I thought he was like 28, 29. Like I thought.
He's been in the league since 18, right?
I think so. Like he came out early, which like good for him. Like he's obviously made the most of it. But I'm happy knowing that our good running back is only 28. We're going to be only 28 next year. Um, but now I want to check Chris Brooks because I'm already here on Spell Track. So
What about Emmanuel Wilson?
I'm almost certain he's a free agent because he was undrafted. Like I think he's just on
He's
one
20.
years. Yeah, Chris Brooks is also.
Emmanuel Wilson is 26, which means Josh Jacobs is only a year older than him.
That's very funny. Chris Brooks is 25 and he's on a 1 year deal, or he was a 1 year. Um, he's a restricted free agent next year, so they could honestly keep him. Chris Brooks turns 26 this year.
Jesus,
turns
what is
26.
going on?
Turns 26 in a month for 3 weeks.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Regardless, yeah, it just sucks for Marshawn Lloyd, and we'll maybe see him next year. So, I mean, we might see him this year. They put him on IR again. They can reset his window, but I don't think that's going to happen. He'd have to be
No, I
he'd
really
have to be put on IR, which he has been. Miss 4 weeks, which would be the first week of the playoffs. Open his window and then play in either the divisional round, the championship game, or the Super Bowl, which I don't think they're doing.
yeah, I don't think so either.
Um, so
Emmanuel Wilson, for the record, he's a restricted free agent.
yeah, so is Chris Brooks. So that is good news for me. So well,
I know just
I
the way
I
you said
honestly like
me.
was like half wondering to myself this year. I was like worried that someone could like give him a big contract, which someone still could. Like he's restricted, they can don't gotta match it. But either which way, that's an off-season topic. Um, More injury news: Micah Parsons has not had his ACL surgery yet, as he's celebrating the birth of his child. Um, so he will be almost certainly not starting the year next year just because of not having the surgery yet. Um, Rob Dvoski reported that this isn't unusual for the Packers either. They usually wait a couple of days or even a week before they go under the knife. So
Honestly, I feel like it's more that is kind of like athletes in general, where it's like the swelling has to
us,
go down.
yeah,
It's I'm not a doctor. This is where Rohan would be needed, but yeah, this I don't think it ultimately will affect when we will see him eventually, but it is just one of those things.
yeah, just one of those things, and well, can't wait to talk about him next year. So,
Yeah.
um, alrighty, let's go through the injury report for this week because obviously we must. Um, the benefit of this game being on Saturday means we know some players' status this week. Um, I am only going to go through the players that have a game status. I'm not going through everybody that is on the injury report because if they don't have a status, they're good to go.
Yeah.
Um, Chris Brooks has a chest injury. He is questionable after being limited in practice this week. Um,
Ugh.
Brenton Cox Jr. was a full participant in practice this week. He is questionable. It'll be really big to get him back. Um, Coincidentally, at the same time that Micah Parsons goes back, he's not Micah Parsons, obviously, but we'll talk about him a little bit. Um, Kingsley Enagbare is questionable with an illness. He was a DNP on Thursday, so just a little sick. Josh Jacobs is questionable with a knee and ankle injury. He was a DNP all week. Darren Kennard has a neck injury. He was limited all week. He's questionable. Um, Colin Oliver is coming off of IR. He was a full participant in practice on Thursday. He is questionable. Um, Zach Thomas questionable after being a DNP all week with his back and knee injuries. Christian Watson is questionable after being a DNP on Tuesday and limited in practice on Wednesday and Thursday. That's crazy, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
Josh Wiley was a DNP all week and he is out because boy golly did he get his bell rung. Dontavian Wicks was a limited participant in practice Wednesday and Thursday. He is questionable, as is Evan Williams, who was a DNP all week. And then, as I mentioned, John Williams' practice window reopened this week, but he is out for the game. Notable returning from uh, the injury report is Savion Williams. He was limited on Wednesday, full participant on Thursday with a foot injury. He has no injury status. He is good to go for Saturday's game. Um,
Sorry, it just we will get to the Bears. Just thought of a great nickname for John Williams,
the composer.
the Maestro.
Okay, I can dig it.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-da-da-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum.
What movie is that supposed to be?
I don't know. I was making
You
like
could have picked like so many. Like
copyright.
you're not getting close for it to get tagged. I'm sorry to break it to you, my buddy. You could have picked Star Wars. You could have picked Indiana
Never,
Jones. You
never
could
heard
have
of
picked,
those.
I'm pretty sure, Titanic, right?
I don't think Titanic.
No Titanic.
Superman.
Superman. You could have picked a lot of movies.
Jaws.
Jaws.
Baron
Okay,
Baron
okay. Uh, sneaking up on the Bears this
Pancake.
week is a few critical injuries that have a couple players out. Um, First is wide receiver Luther Burden the third. He has an ankle injury. He is out of the game this week, as is Roma Dunze with his foot injury. And I was told myself I was gonna look up his name before the pod, and I didn't. Um, Amen on
Mm.
Obong Bamiga is how I'm gonna say that. Linebacker with a hamstring injury. Um, Tremaine Edmonds has his window open. He is questionable after being a full participant on Thursday with a groin injury. That'd be big for them to get back at the linebacker position. Cole Kmet said he is playing. He is questionable with a ankle and knee injury. DeAndre Swift was limited on Wednesday and Thursday with a groin injury. He is questionable. So, um, they have a D lineman, Joe Tryon Shoyenka. He was a DMP Wednesday and Thursday with a personal matter, but he's questionable. So
Oh, I see that the Gary Bears are questionable to move on the injured.
that's
Sorry.
that's correct. That's correct. So um, Jordan and I talked pre-pod, and we don't have specifically matchups to talk about, but that we talked about um, the playoff scenarios. One thing to think about coming into this game too is who's taking over Zach Tom's spot if he misses the game. With Darian Kennard being on the injury report, if he doesn't play, it's just going to be Jordan Morgan. But I would bet that if Kennard's healthy, he just is the guy for reasons we talked about after Sunday's game, being that Jordan Morgan is primarily a left tackle right now.
Yeah, I don't. I'm going to look this up, um, just to be sure. But all of his snaps this year have come at either guard position. Um,
I'm pretty sure that's right.
I just don't. I think it's Kennard. The fact that they were rotating in throughout practice, it only speaks to the fact that he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jordan Morgan has 579 snaps. Going through it now. See, on Pro Football Reference, is going to list him as an offensive tackle, but if we go through those, I don't think it's at the position that it should be at. So,
Yeah, I can look at
um,
PFF quick and look at snap counts.
yeah, that'll work better.
I'll
But
look
yeah,
at.
I think it's Kennard's spot to lose, and you know, I you're gonna. I think that's who they turned to when Zach Tom was hurt earlier in the year and missed a game, or left a game, couple of games. I don't see it changing.
No, and hilariously, the um, PFF has him as a guard, but they just have his snaps as offensive line and not split up.
Are you kidding me?
So I gotta find it quick.
You have to pay all this money per month, and they
Oh,
can't
shut
even
up!
put him to a
Shut
freaking
up!
position.
Shut up! Where is Jordan Morgan? Jordan Morgan has taken 30 snaps at right tackle, 358 at right guard, and 191 at left guard. So we'll see.
Mm.
For what it's worth, Darian Kinnard is 162 at right tackle, and that's it. So I'll be interested to see. I think it's gonna be Darian Kinnard if he plays. The Jordan Morgan pick is still bothersome to me for this exact reason. That like the idea was, yeah, he can play anywhere. Like that's why we drafted him where we did. It's why we didn't take Graham Barton at center. Like I know Graham Barton has been up and down his career thus far, but like he plays,
Yeah,
and I'd rather have just a player that plays that you can evaluate than Jordan Morgan standing on the sideline waiting for Rasheed Walker's space to vacate. But that's just my opinion. So, um, another thing to I guess touch on, this is like our first real big topic, is how does this team generate pressures without Micah Parsons? Like Caleb Williams, I believe, didn't get sacked in that Bears game, if I'm not mistaken, or what got sacked
Eddie
once.
Barry
Yep, that's
on
right.
the before the pick on the
Yep,
play before the pick.
yep. And so the question is who's generating pressures and how is Jeff Hafley generating pressures? Because if Caleb Williams is free to roll out of the pocket and just scramble around and make plays during the scramble drill, especially with the secondary and how they've been playing the last couple of weeks, especially against the Bears, like I don't want to say they got carved up. Like Keyshawn got graded well on PFF, but he made dumb plays and he had some mistakes, but the Broncos game was bad, was really bad, and teams are I think 0-7 this year coming out of the game at Mile High. Like going from altitude then to not altitude is difficult, and
Is that
so
true?
yeah, teams are 0-7 uh, playing away from Mile High after they played the previous week.
Let me dig into who those teams were.
Go ahead. Um, but either which way, Rashawn Gary I don't think has had a pressure or a sack in like a few weeks. He's had in a bit
Been a
of a
bit.
dry spell. And so I think we talked about it on Sunday, but we're gonna see a lot of like Jeff Hadley in his bag most likely. We're gonna see a lot of Quay and Edge blitz packages. I'd bet maybe more of X or Javon Bullard off the edge as like secondary blitzes. Um, to maybe to give Caleb Williams something a little different look to scramble him out a little bit, but that's gonna be I think a huge thing to watch is can they get Caleb Williams under pressure, and what do they do if they can't? Like what can they do if he scrambles out? Can the secondary cover for that long and kind of bait him into making mistakes, or just wait for him to make a mistake?
I do have the list of teams.
Go ahead.
The Titans, the Bengals, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Chiefs, no, the Packers.
Not necessarily a who's who of good teams this
No,
year,
but it
but
is a stat nonetheless.
yeah, and like I'd be curious to see who those teams played too. Like there's nuance to the stat for sure, but 0-7 is still 100% one way. That's
The
usually
only teams that you'd be like, oh, that is surprising that they didn't win coming out of
like
it are
Dallas and
Dallas and
the,
KC.
yeah,
Like
right. Especially because
KC's,
Kansas City has played there every year for a while. Like they
yeah.
know how to
Um,
adjust for that, and it's not that far of a trip for them.
yeah, going to your point of Packers pass rush, it's obviously gonna be the biggest thing that everybody's keying in on without Parsons. How creative is Jeff Halfley going to be? I know he gave a very rousing answer in his press conference Wednesday of, you know, it read too long, frankly, but um but it's clear that it's going to be one of those things where everybody is using it as a rallying cry, not, waving the white flag, not that we'd expect football players to do so, but the facts are the facts. That without Parsons, the Packers just have a very mid to bad pass rush. They don't have a consistent pass rush. It's what we were talking about the Packers for the last few years, regardless it was under Jeff Halfley or Joe Barry or even the late stages of Mike Patton without Zadarius Smith doing wonders for that defense. It's been a struggle. And I think the difference of seeing a lot of blitz packages and Jeff Halfley getting exotic. Um, Caleb Williams
Jeff
is the kind of
Exotic.
getting he's I call did you say Jeff Exotic?
Yeah.
He is
Sorry.
the Bear King.
Sorry to interrupt your your train of
He
thought.
he has the Shalom Wildlife Zoo. That's in West Bend.
Is it? Is Shalom in
Or
West Bend? What's the one up in Michigan? The DeYoung Wildlife Zoo. Okay, sorry. I get Shalom and DeYoung mixed up because like they're
yeah.
both wildlife zoos that have tigers in the middle of rural areas.
um Caleb Williams he is the kind of quarterback as we saw not even 14 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um he's the type of guy that can beat blitzes. If you send too many, he can just scramble out wide, make plays with his feet, throw on the run. Are you going to have a QB spy? Like, it's going to be a tough matchup. It's a really tough matchup. Even with if the schedule was somehow changed around, I think we'd be more willing to be like, "Ooh, I can't wait for them to go after Lamar, who's less than 100% and has been battling injury all year long, even missing some games." I We'd be saying the same thing about JJ McCarthy, who, oh my, like there are some pods this week about, I know they won and beat the Cowboys and all that fun stuff. There are some things that just because, I'm keyed in on the Packers, you're keyed in on the Packers, that the Vikings don't like JJ McCarthy.
Right.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
Anyway, you certainly want to see what Jeff Halfley can do with that. I think the fact that they have to move on, essentially play the first game without Micah Parsons against a Bears team that is clearly surging towards the playoffs coming around. And Caleb Williams played really confident. He can look back what he did 2 weeks ago and say, like, I know how I could beat this team. Like
Right.
I almost did it at Lambeau in the second half. He might be even more confident that is possible. So I don't know. I'm very very worried about what the defense can do in terms of trying to get after him because as much as the gift of I shouldn't say a gift, that sounds very mean, but their wide receiver core is decimated.
Yeah, that's kind of like the the kicker here is that Caleb Williams played like I would say fine against the Packers a couple weeks ago. He did his Caleb Williams thing where he didn't do too much early on in the game, and
He
then
was
was really
awful.
good in the second
Yeah.
half in the fourth
Yep.
quarter. But he played really well against the Browns last week in cold weather. Like, he was sacked 3 times, I believe, um, 3 or 4 times, but then was making throws all over the field. Like he was scrambling out of the pocket, and
He
you
was making throws all the way to Gary. Sorry.
he went 17 to 28 for 242 yards and two touchdowns, one of which was a thread to DJ Moore.
And
Um, and so
Jordan Love
like
wasn't doing that in week 3.
no, he was not in good weather too.
Yeah.
Um, that's neither here nor there. But I think like I said, the kicker is that without Roma Dunze, who didn't have 2 weeks ago, but then without Luther Burden, they're kind of like it's really down to DJ Moore and Colson Loveland as like the two playmakers they have passing the ball. And so like they can play Olumide Zaccheaus, sure they can, like that's something they're allowed to do. But I'm not like relying on him. Cole Kmet's there obviously, but
He's kind of banged up though.
right, he's gonna play, he said,
The
but he
the
is banged
thing
up.
I think what makes Williams kind of finding his feet as the season has gone along, not to devolve it into fantasy talk. I've had Roma Dunze, and the guy has not been good for quite some time. Like we think of him better of what he was doing in weeks 1 through 6 than what he has done week 7 through what is this week 16, week 15,
This is week 16.
16. He's had as many good games as he has had bad, so it's pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Without him, without Luther Burden, who I mean, I think was the leading wide receiver 2 weeks ago for the Bears.
I think he was, yeah.
He's still it's not perfect. We're not saying he's a complete quarterback, but he's been able to look more what we kind of expected from Caleb Williams coming out of college than what he was doing last year, what he was doing earlier this year. And he's doing it with less weapons on the field that we expected this Bears offense to kind of go into. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where, like as you mentioned, DJ Moore, who's kind of that whole situation's been weird, but he is still a weapon for them. Colston Loveland has been rising. Cole Kmet has been banged up. Zacchaeus is a nice, I guess, tertiary weapon for this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing things with the ball with not as many weapons as he was going into the year,
Yeah.
or not as good as it was on paper.
So Luther Burden has been kind of their gadget guy. They don't really run a whole lot of like running plays with him per se, but he
Yeah.
has. I'm trying to see if I can find the total number of targets so far. He has. I can do quick math. That's 20, 35, 47 targets this year. 11 of them have been like targeted um, behind the line of scrimmage, like center of the field, which is a jet sweep, like a touch pass per se. Um, his next highest is short center, which is between the line of scrimmage and the first down marker. That's 9 targets, and so and then his next highest, or I'm sorry, tied with 9 is intermediate center. So um,
Mm.
between 10 and 20 yards. I like he's their middle of the field guy, and that's a big piece to lose when you lose your Romo Dunze, who is your guy outside, and you lose your guy over the middle, right? Like where do you go from there? Like it's hard to weave in DJ Moore and Colson Loveland into those spots seamlessly, right? Like they're gonna have a challenge in doing that. But I think it's really gonna come down to is how do they guard Colson Loveland? Like who do they? Because I'd imagine Keyshawn's gonna get DJ Moore. Carrington Valentine probably gets Loveland or Olamide Zacchaeus. But like I don't know. I think I'd rather Carrington on Colson Loveland just to be a better like coverage corner there. I'm more afraid of Colson Loveland than I am of Olamide Zacchaeus. Like I'd rather if Nate Hobbs plays, Nate Hobbs go out and guard Olamide Zacchaeus, even though he's been having an up and down year regardless. But like you know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather the top two corners play coverage on the top two receiving threats, even if one of them's a tight end.
You don't think it's a job for Bullard?
Wasn't didn't he get hurt? Maybe.
Am I crazy?
I thought he got hurt. Uh, nope, he's on the injury report. I thought he did. I thought I saw
Hobbs got
something, but
hurt that I haven't seen anything
he's not.
to
Yeah,
suggest.
neither on the injury report. So yeah, maybe Bullard. I think that'd be a better option than Carrington. Let Carrington just work outside. So, but yeah, how the secondary plays that and pairs that solution with how they attack Caleb Williams, I think is going to be like the thing to look for this week because it's a critical part of this football game.
Yeah, I mean, and we even mentioned Xavier McKinney, who we know how the Packers play or use him and play him, but you just saw this team 2 weeks ago. They're gonna probably scheme up different looks that what wasn't on tape. If you're a smart football player, which Xavier McKinney definitely is, like, could we see a lot of what he was doing last week? Again, it's that kind of the Xavier McKinney theory of like the more you see of him, the more that means that the defense is not playing spectacularly. If he has to go into game saving mode or superhero mode, like that's just not, you don't want that to be the case necessarily. But he is a weapon, and it's still something at your disposal.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. This is where we're getting back into the old Packers thing of like
what they
it's
can't generate pressure. How do you defend?
the push and pull of like it's I don't know. It's gonna be they're going honestly. It's probably gonna be there are gonna be some drives where they get a couple of three and outs, so we're gonna be like, yes, this is what it's supposed to be like. And then the Bears might have a drive or two where they chew up clock, get 12 plays to go into the end zone, and
Yeah.
make it a game.
And that's football. Like that's just
Yep.
how the defense operates sometimes, but at the same time it's like you need to time those things right. The 12 play 8-minute clock chewer in the first quarter is okay. The 12-minute or the 8-minute 12 play 8-minute clock chewer to end the fourth, like how they did 2 weeks ago, is not okay. Like that
Yeah.
there's levels to this, and they have to make sure that they're playing their best football um, when it's critical, which would be about when it is, like in the fourth quarter and everything.
Yeah.
So, um, Artie, the other thing I think we ought to focus on is, or again, more defense, and it's the running game. Because if they can't pass the ball and have success targeting guys down the field, like this is where DeAndre Swift and Coleman on guy can really hurt like the Packers. Because Micah Parsons, while uh, being is stigmatized the word, being given the stigma of being a bad run defender by Jerry Jones, or Jerry Jones calling him a bad run defender, he's a pretty darn good run defender. Like they don't really run at him very often, and so with him being out, like it elevates Lucas Van Ness's role if he plays, um, and it elevates the interior defensive line. Like this, like no more Devontae Wyatt in this game. Like they had him for 3 quarters in the Bears game 2 weeks ago. No more, like he's not there now, so it really puts an emphasis on Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden and the rest of those guys on the interior. And again, Edge and Quay are so important now that Micah's gone, because they're going to be charged with plugging those holes between the tackles, and they're
Yep.
very good sideline to sideline. And well, like I'm sure there'll be a lot of running plays. Like it might be just like a steady diet of pounding the ball from DeAndre Swift and Coleman on guy. Like I would not be surprised if Caleb Williams isn't really a huge part of the game plan this week.
No. No, they have found the formula. They have found what the Lions perfected so well, and they're doing a lot better. And I shouldn't say a lot better. Well, at least this year they're doing a lot better than Detroit is. Even though Jameer Gibbs is a superstar running back. Yeah, it's what could really set this game into danger zone for the Packers is that if the defense is on the field for a very long time, that forces the LaFleur to think on his feet, call plays that are you going to go for home run plays? Are you going to how does that affect your drive and play sequencing?
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of get lulled into as LaFleur can't often does sometimes. It's like if this offense is very creaky, you're going for the big plays and then you're going to three and out territory. And we'll get into kind of the bigger topics of what the offense could look like. But I just think whatever team finds that success on the ground, given how important it is to both teams in their various ways, like that'll just drive this game.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we were surprised by how willing the Packers were throwing the ball in that weather,
Yeah,
it they call it the Windy City
I will fight you.
for different reasons than what I thought they were, but weather could easily be part of this game on Saturday night.
I'm
You know,
currently looking to see what the weather is going to be like in Chicago on Saturday because I'm not sure what it's going to be. Chicago, but to your point, like to the point in general is the Bears are comfortable pounding the rock. Like it's not it's a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago now, that the Bears had 281 rushing yards and to like Caleb Williams like 125 passing yards against the Eagles. Like if they can win on the ground, they are more than comfortable to let Caleb Williams just hand that ball off and not have him play quarterback. I think that's like I don't want to say preferred because like that seems a bit I don't want to say mean, but reductive essentially. But they're clearly comfortable in doing that. So
yeah.
Saturday it's gonna be nice during the day, and then it's gonna be windy. Believe it or not, like it
What?
said higher wind gusts possible. 15 at
What are you
night,
telling me?
41 during the day, 15 at night.
You smell that?
What do I smell?
Double doink time.
Does that have a smell?
Oh yeah. Kidding me?
What's it smell like?
Not good.
I need a,
It smells like
no no
dead
no 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 no
fish
no no
coming
no.
off of
I
Lake
need a
Michigan.
profile.
Dead fish off of Lake Michigan.
Okay, that is pretty
Even though
rotten.
it's frozen,
Yeah, even though it's frozen.
it still finds cracks through the ice.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, like I think I'm more worried about the run game, like the run defense, than anything else in this game, frankly.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Run defense means a lot of things, but I think in the traditional ground and pound, there was some ground beef on the stove and make up some.
um listener, I think I might have lost Jordan. So we'll take a beat here. I'll hang out for a second and I'll talk about our next topic in hopes of Jordan coming back. If he doesn't, you won't hear any of this, and I'll just cut out and make a new spot. But the next feature, like the next thing to look for essentially in this game, if Christian Watson plays, that'll be a great thing. I'm not sure how he could possibly play after the tragedy that is, I should say tragedy, the painful injury I assume it would be to have a bruised uh, bone that connects your sternum and your clavicle. Um, it just sounds it just sounds painful, and to play football, uh, 6 days later is incredible, and he's their biggest weapon. He is their biggest weapon right now, and he's played so well since coming back from injury that having him not in this game would be a pretty significant loss to the offense for the sole purpose of they just look better with him. He provides down the field threat. He provides a lot of stuff over the middle. Like, I mean, we saw him go against the Bears 2 weeks ago. He had two touchdowns on two different types of throws. He had the deep bomb that he caught for a touchdown, and then the short slant over the middle. Jordan, Welcome back. I've been talking about the importance of Christian Watson in your absence.
Thank you. I think the powers that be in Gary, Indiana, took out my internet connection for 2 seconds, and my computer restarted out of nowhere.
That'll happen. Uh,
Uh,
I've been talking about Christian Watson's importance to the offense and that if he plays, it'd be a big boon to this offense because they've been so much better with him.
yes, he's great. Christian Watson's great. I worry about what this offense will look like without him.
Yeah,
Um, it'd be great if he plays, but I don't want him to get hindered.
I don't want to have to go over the middle and take a hit to the area that he just went out of the game with on Sunday with. Like,
Yes.
he's gonna get tackled in the chest. That's just the nature of getting tackled. He's gonna fall on his torso. That's just the nature of getting tackled. So I wouldn't be surprised if he misses, but if he does miss, like I've said it once this season, and I've said it 1,000 times. I'd like to see Matthew Golden in the Christian Watson role. I think we saw Jordan Love trust him a little more last week than we have in previous weeks, and actually getting him the ball. Like, let's keep it going. Let's keep that momentum moving with Matthew Golden. Let's get him his first touchdown. Like, please God, let's get him his first touchdown. And so, like, even if Christian Watson plays, like, let's still build Matthew Golden more into the offense. Like, we talked about it in our Discord this week, just kind of like as needed talking about this team. Romeo Dobbs has kind of fallen down the depth chart of receivers, and not even because of like that he's bad. It's just like the role he is. He's a kind of a one-dimensional receiver in that he's not super speedy. He's got good hands. He runs a decent route, but like Christian Watson's more dynamic. Dontayvion Wicks is more dynamic. Jane Reed has been more dynamic while he's been healthy. And I think like him and Matthew Golden are fighting for that wide receiver four spot right now. And depending on the situation, like I'm trusting Matthew Golden's hands really like a lot more than Romeo's are, just because Matthew Golden's hands are so good. So I would just like to see that spread around a little more. And even if like they are like all healthy at their like catching specialist spots. I mean, like the Luke Musgrave has been playing well. I'm not sure how they can mix him in more effectively or get him the ball more, but if they can find seams to get him open like they did against Denver, where he has that nice, I mean, against the Bears and Denver, where he gets open on the left side of the field there for what should have been a catch against the Bears and then what was a catch against the Broncos. So I'm not worried if Christian Watson misses, but it makes my confidence that they can have a competent offense uh, go down a little bit without him.
Yeah. Again, this is what we kind of talked about, but it's not a coincidence that the Packers offense and the more Jordan Love looked like what we saw late first year starter Jordan Love came with Christian Watson coming on the field and showing that he looked like a different player than what he had done so for much of his career so far. And I think the another byproduct of that is that once the offense is opened up and they're kind of going for bigger throws and
They've been
you
chucking
know
the ball on the field.
yeah, like high A dots as they say. I don't think it's coincidence that Romeo Dobbs has kind of been a non-factor.
Yep,
Like
for that
that's just
exact
not his
reason.
that's not his game. Like he's really good short field, short yardage situations, red zone area, but it gets a little bit when you're going from your own 20 to the opposing team's 20 and try to get chunk plays. He might get that if he beats his guy or like it really was like that Cowboys playoff game where he that's kind of the exception to him doing a little bit of everything. And that's because the Cowboys were playing so wide open that
Right.
they, essentially like a prevent defense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is. What would you say worries you more going into this game? Packers pass rush without Parsons or Packers offense without Watson or a limited Watson?
Without Parsons, without a doubt. Because like,
Really?
yeah, because I think they have a harder time replacing Parsons. Like, that's that's reductive. It's hard to replace one of the best pass rushers in the league right now. But like, it's more difficult to do that with the personnel that they have than it is to replace Christian Watson. Like, I think Christian Watson is a very dynamic player and has been a boon for this offense since he's come back. I do ultimately think that his skills are duplicative with Matthew Golden. Like you can Matthew Golden can slot into the Christian Watson role, I think at least. Like I think he's fully capable of doing that.
Hmm.
Just because like they're Matthew Golden's a little shorter. He's not, but he's just as fast. He's got just as good of hands. Like they have both been used in a similar fashion at points in their career. Like at one point, Christian Watson was the jet sweep guy behind the line of scrimmage. Matthew Golden was that a little bit earlier this season.
Minesweeper.
A little bit earlier this season, and like I think like if they wanted to, if Matt LaFleur and company were comfortable with slotting Matthew Golden into that role, I think they can. Like there's you can't slot Brenton Cox Jr. or JJ Enagbare or Rashawn Gary into the Michael
No.
Parsons role. You can't ask those guys to bounce around the line and line up where Michael Parsons did. We will never see Rashawn Gary lining up over center. Like a play after he lines up outside. Like he is a primarily outside edge rusher. Like he might stunt inside, but and granted I'm not watching Rashawn Gary that closely every single play, but he's almost
You might
certainly
be now.
but like he's almost certainly always outside. Like we haven't seen the roles switch to where Rashawn Gary lines up over center and Micah
That's
Parsons comes off the edge. Like
yeah,
it's hard.
that's never
It's
been.
so much harder to replace what Micah Parsons was doing on defense for this team than it is for them to replace Christian Watson.
I think the failsafe that the defense has is that Kale might throw a terrible pick or they might force a fumble. They still have that in their back pocket of like as much as we probably earlier in the season we were lamenting that they aren't forcing turnovers. They're kind of on a good streak that way. Like last week they forced a fumble on the opening drive. I believe well, Caleb obviously threw the pick on the last play of uh Bears offensive play and 2 weeks ago. Like they have that. My thing with the offense is that like again, it's I'm going to keep using this analogy of the quiet, loud, quiet, loud. Like the Packers offense is a 90s alternative rock song. Like it is Stone Temple Pilots. It is that level of just like that. I just worry what Christian Watson means to this offense and how it had looked prior to him coming back and even after he came back. um, I just I don't know. We've seen the offense really go through feast or famine or truly up peaks and valleys that like even in previous years, like under the Love LaFleur partnership, like it's I don't know. It feels more peaksy and valley than it had been the last 2 years.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. So,
Yeah.
um, players to watch. Do you have any? I guess do you have anything else you want to talk about? I have. I'm tapped per se.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I
Okay.
think that's
Players
um
to watch.
I'm gonna go I can't remember if I said it last week, but I wanna be boring.
Boring.
I'm not gonna do Packers. I was gonna go do Packer and I'm doing Bears. I'm going to do
Spit it out.
I don't want to be boring though.
Be boring.
Be boring. You said that very Homer Simpson like. I'll just do Caleb.
Okay.
He's fascinating to watch for a lot of reasons. Part because he's number one overall, and
Yeah.
he carries a little bit of prestige and all that stuff. But again, as we talked about after that Packers Bears game, I think he is the type of quarterback that he has an archetype that could really be a problem.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of limiting the plays that he gets in his own way or doesn't see the field or holds on the ball too long, throws it away. Like, can the Packers get anything close to what they were doing in the first half where he was just a non factor? And
Mm-hmm.
they had 71 yards of offense
Yeah,
in that first half.
right.
So if you have something like that, chances are that the Packers can win because that gives you a big margin for error for however the game shakes out. But if Caleb is seeing the field, hitting targets, making the Packers, making plays that extend beyond what the Packers are capable of doing on defense, then it's gonna be a tough, tough Saturday night.
I agree. I agree. My two are DJ Moore. I'll start with him. Uh, he played well against the Browns last week, but like, I think it's no small
He's
secret that he's upset and a malcontent in Chicago. Um, I think I said it on the preview pod for the last one, but like, I think he's just the odd guy out in that offense, and like the copy paste from the Lions offensive specialists to the Bears offensive specialists now, especially moving towards the younger side of a team. So if he can keep up the momentum he had against the Browns against the Packers, that'll be a little bit problematic. My Packer is Edgerrin Cooper. I think he's going to be critically important these last 3 weeks, um, especially this game and stopping the run and getting out and pressuring Caleb Williams on the sidelines when he scrambles.
that's gonna be that was a good one. And like we haven't talked about him as much. I think
Not
we
so
understand
much,
why.
but like it's because Parkinson's exists now.
Yeah, but also
Micah
like
Parsons is making a lot of the flashy plays. Like Edgerrin Cooper has been making flashy plays. He has a lot of tackles for loss and like is making plays out, like outside of the tackles. But like last year, he was blitzing and he was all over the field because
he was the de facto like
he was their best player in the box, like
yes.
of their front seven. And so Micah Parsons came in and said, "That's my role now. Thank you very much." But he's
Yeah.
still been good this year for sure.
Move over partner because he's a cowboy.
Yeah,
What?
it's just a bad joke.
Anyway, that I really like that one. That's a good one.
I thought you were gonna pick him, and I was gonna be upset. So I'm glad I got him.
No, I didn't even. He wasn't even in my mind. I'm gonna go way out of the box. Are you ready?
I am
It's
ready.
probably gonna piss you off. I know it will piss you off.
Daniel Whalen, or the other one,
You're not wrong.
the other punter,
No, Brandon McManus.
McManus.
Something tells me I think weather related, but like this, if this game comes down to margins, I think um we haven't really talked about Brandon McManus in a while, but uh
I don't want to either,
I
frankly.
don't want to either because the more we talk about him, probably the more it means that he's not good or had a bad game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder what he will be able to do, um, and how much that affects the offense. Because if the offense is able to move and they're getting into scoring position, at least in field goal range,
Mm-hmm.
if he misses, that's going to change how LaFleur is going to
Yeah.
use the offense. Like we're as much as it is ridiculous to like my Packers player to watch is Brandon McManus. It does show that like everything matters, everything counts.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Packers need all the kind of squeezing of the margins as they can to get anything out of the last few weeks here
Well,
going
we
into the playoffs. Hopefully,
we've talked about it at length multiple times in the last month and a half. Like they are a methodical offense. Like they've started to take shots deep to get big plays and score in a hurry, but for the most part they're going to take their time. And the Bears are also a team that takes their time. Every possession is going to be critically important.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Brandon McManus is my actually probably true Packer to watch is uh Jaden Reed.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Score prediction.
Bears 24, Packers 13.
Wow. You think they're going to lose, huh?
I do.
I am once again going to pick the Packers to win because I cannot tell myself I can't live with myself to predict a Bears win over the
After what you
Packers.
said last week, you're like, I'm gonna my predicted Packers record this year is gonna be 16-1. I was like,
Yeah,
when you,
it is
I don't know.
because I think they can win all these games, and I hope they do. Like, I think this game will be close again. I'm gonna go 24-17 Packers because you're goddamn right. Non-Packers news: Sam Darnold is seeing ghosts like he was with the Jets against the fucking Rams. He has 179 passing yards and 2 interceptions. Like after what the Rams did to him in the playoffs last year and what he's done against the Rams 2 times this year, that man might ask for a trade to the AFC. I don't think he wants to see the Rams ever again. Ever again. The Rams are single
Uh,
handedly responsible for denying Jackson Smith and Jigba the yards record for a receiver.
oh right,
Well, he was on pace for it for a good chunk of the season, and uh, Darnold has had 2 absolute stinkers against the Rams this year.
yeah,
Um, he has 72 yards tonight. JSN's currently at 1550 for yards. He has 72 tonight, which makes him past 1600. In the Rams game a month ago, he had 100 yards, but like that was getting fed 12 targets on
yeah.
9 catches.
The craziest like
Yeah,
target share.
yeah. The Minnesota game was kind of what did it for him, but he only got 23 yards of that game. But still, like Sam Darnold, man, find a different team to lay a pumpkin against. The Rams also might be really really good.
I think that's it.
It's that too. So and
Yeah,
they get the Falcons pick this year.
and they do.
Between the Thunder getting the Clippers pick and the Falcon or the Rams getting the Falcons pick, I'm not a fan of all these teams making dumb trades. Don't make that face.
It's that's how it is. Look at the Colts.
Rams currently picking 10th. They picked before Miami.
Kirk Cousins is about to go. You like that?
You like that?
Also, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tonga Vailoa.
That's a tongue twister. Uh, Tua tongue twister
Tua
Viola.
Tua to the bench.
Tua, yeah.
Quinn Ewers, your starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. That contract is booty. My word.
I know we should probably be over. Again, we're venturing into
Just
general
just just
NFL
talk.
talk.
Where's yapping?
I think the Dolphins are the worst.
Oh, they're for sure the worst off team in the NFL right now. Aaron, my good buddy Aaron
I think
listens.
they have the worst future.
Yeah, it's tough. My good buddy Aaron is a loyal listener of this podcast because he my best friend. But he's a Dolphins fan, and
I'm sorry, Aaron.
he is very happy that they fired Chris Greer. Like that's
Yes.
very good for them. But the Dolphins have they have all their picks this year. They don't, and they have 2 extra thirds at 21, 312, 321, and 322 right now. But I don't know what you do at quarterback right now, dog. Like, do you just run Tua into the ground next year? Do you ride Quinn Ewers? Like, do they trade Tua? I don't know. I don't know, man.
He puts the U in Ewers.
He does put the U in Ewers.
Um, yeah, just I even in a league where the Raiders exist,
Yeah,
the Raiders can still say like, "Oh, we are setting the foundation for the future." It's like, oh no, it gets really ugly
but
when
even then, like, if they better hope they get Mendoza if you're the Raiders,
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and like they need like holy crap, the Raiders have a lot of picks this year. Raiders
yeah.
have
They're
Raiders have 10 picks this year, and 6 before round 5. It's pretty crazy.
there you go.
So, all right, we've dabbled enough in NFL talk.
Tom Brady.
That's right. All right, folks. Thank you for listening. We'll be back almost assuredly live Saturday night after the Bears game. So go subscribe on YouTube to Talk of the
We're
Tundra.
taking a trip to Indiana to watch the game live, right?
No, you're not.
Oh,
Um, Screw that state. That state is boring. Has the worst national park. If you
only one?
huh?
Did you say it has the worst national park?
Yes.
Only the one? I heard they're turning that in the parking lot.
God. Yeah, they're taking the dunes on the shores of Lake Michigan to
They're calling it the Bear Den.
the bear den. So they're gonna
Hmm.
hibernate, huh?
Hmm.
Um, Go subscribe to Talk of the Tundra on YouTube to be notified. Click the button. Click the bell if you really want to support us. I don't know if it does anything for us, but it.
Yo quiero
What do you mean you want?
the bell.
You. Oh, I hate you so much, dog. Oh, what a bad joke. Oh, what a bad joke. I'm not even finishing the outro. Go check out Eurostep for all things Bucks. Thank you for
They lost
listening.
again.
Thank you. They did lose again. Oh man, I don't want to talk about them. Thank you, listener, for listening. And Jordan, I can't actually thank you for that because that was it broke me.
You're welcome.